Hey, hey, what's happening out there, YouTube family? This is Robert L. Jones Jr. coming at you again with some more Tribal Judah poetry. All right, coming at you with a couple more pieces as I usually do. And the first poem of the evening is entitled King Cobra, in the grooving spirit of a funky viper. Devilish adversaries of doomsday cursed hostility be having nothing better to do with themselves except to commence in vain, to savagely tear me up and to violently sabotage the conscious cipher of my psychological apparatus of optimistic reasoning. Yet despite the exceedingly contrite gripes of their decrepit mechanisms of mentally insulting ignorance against my eminently consistent persistence for being righteously relevant in the purest excellence of majestic conquest, I beautifully succeed within those happily predicting attributes of yes, true, and indeed, as I forcefully concede, proceed, and courageously supersede beyond them wrongly expected judgments of helplessly failing death and destruction, and with the sly, slick, and cunningly wicked distinctions of a wise serpent on an insightfully slithering mission, I would only be instinctively following my innermost nature of survivalist reaction, as I show enough be sinking my tenaciously sharpened fangs into the tender Achilles of all my horrendously defeated enemies of revolutionary dignity. And within a boldly calculated instant of some adrenaline rushing fervor, both of my carefully watchful eyes would greatly witness the unsurprising climax of their poisonous demise, as fiery trying times and stone infernal turmoil be quickly fallen to the marble floor of my palatial domicile of worthwhile triumph so ostentatious, vivacious, and show enough gracious. So trespassing tribulations and impish emulations of demonizing lamentations would rather do much better in their lost and overthrown conditions by zipping up their lying lips and getting humbled down into that weakening posture of absolute submission before the effervescent revelation of a strongly willed soul, brother, with that mightily venomous sting of a reptilian wonderment, who shall boldly preserve his radically dynastic stance of fearless resolution against any hater-provoking onslaught of wretched indignation that wants me to disappear away in the evanescent haze of an eliminating tragedy. And I am going to freely give myself the self-empowering privilege of some proudly arousing permission to no longer become a catastrophic spectacle of dehumanized and stigmatized shame or reproachable disgrace. For I have done the utterly impossible in forevermore shutting down the rancid mouths and deceitful tongues of them wildly beguiling antagonists, along with all of their viciously diluted fables and piranha biting fish stories that once had the unmitigated gall in abusing and scandalizing the living testimony of my steadily enduring legacy in being a so-called minority with the extraordinary glory of thinking and existing within the exploratory scenes of some majority dwelling territory. So a court gesturing enclave of loitering tale-tellers be subtly smart in quickly evicting their mystically afflicted verbalisms of song and dancing bullcrap from the calm and peaceful residence of this copacetic element of the human universe. Otherwise, they will definitely be nothing more than the rotten aftermath of becoming a decomposing mound of cold and corrupted cadavers. And this will be justly due to the solo defending auspices of Kid Osiris, putting in some cleverly aggressive business as an outrageously avenging cobra with the ever kingly demeanor of dangerously royal rage and that culture flaring expression of some pride-liking spunk, which never fails in bringing about that hissing funk that I surely ain't the one that those dirty rats and trouble-causing vermin should be messing with. So redemptive mercy and forewarning charity is certainly what I be patiently bringing into the madly sullen bosoms of offensive strife and cantankerous oppression, as I bravely offer an emotionally hardened society of misery-dealing torture that laid back and raspy requests to leave me alone and let me be free in the truly American way, or else they shall gravely suffer the retaliating consequence of receiving a painfully vindicating stripe of serpentine payback from a justice-taken warrior with the wrathful spirit of an angrily lethal viper. The second poem of the evening is entitled, My People, I'm Definitely Going Places. I would be immediately moving on within the amazingly boundless and undefiled strength of an exceedingly enduring warrior with absolutely nothing to lose. And I shall readily encourage my powerfully sturdy fortitude of tenaciously undergirded bravado to valiantly embark supreme upon my fiercely immaculate chariot of newly glistening onyx and gold, and just survivably venture on that sweetly tricked out and ever intrepid expedition to cautiously swing low into the many oppressively humid valleys of immensely struggling death, and to triumphantly ride on high upon the joyfully aerial summits of some self-liberating fulfillment that were all soundly fashioned with the comfortably fortifying pavements of mentally stabilizing hope and confidence. For an insatiably dedicated conqueror of fervently winning certainty, with absolutely nothing to fear, as I did independently choose that willfully solidifying decision to quickly animate my interjectically steadfast anatomy into that steadily progressive mobility towards the coastal cornucopia of diverse dimensions and contrary territories of sorely unfamiliar direction. Yet with that boldly solemn magnitude of an incredibly unafraid stature of manhood, with absolutely nothing to dread, I feverishly proceed in that exceptionally fiery impression of dressing up both vitally enthusiastic trotters with that shown up peculiar adornment of Sir Nike's winged kicks of spirited resilience. And I simply fly right on through those tumultuous winds and angrily fiendish showers of notoriously outpouring adversity, only to optimistically soar within a divinely navigating excursion to the happily panoramic perspectives of a beautifully exuberant horizon, filled up some alike with the mightily zealous colors of blissfully inviting atmosphere and the warmly celebrating shimmers of Shekinah brightening sunshine. Indeed, I done got the pridefully discovered essence of some mind-sobering determination to eventually experience the perfectly sublime glories of a pleasure-birthing Shangri-La. And I would be expediently digging upon that inner promising calling of simply uninhibited resolution to instantaneously occupy my preciously allotted time in walking forth vigilantly towards them practically unknown vantage points of utterly strange and uncharted mystery. And I will inevitably become one with that reality dosing yin-yang of successfully braving all them negatively mortifying crossroads of emotionally stinging pain and overwhelming angst, while at the same time having the absolutely desirable expectancy in wholeheartedly trusting my many traveling mercies to faithfully help by sometimes weak and exhausted feet to courageously dash on forward in quick and stellar momentum until I am well and quite able to make it to those truly exhilarating thoroughfares of wonder-elating peace and excitation, where I may surely thrive inside of that deeply persevering rush of briskly exercising them seemingly athletic endeavors of flighted pilgrimage, and verily reach the infinitely favorable crescendo of a safe and completed journey that is cloud nine refined with the undeniably fine personal effects of some paradise possessing wealth and perpetual ecstasy. So this be a greatly inspiring groove of outer stimulating motivation for me to get actively involved in my electrifying continuum of giving my hasty legs that omnipotent permission to suddenly hurry onward and swiftly bolt like a dynamically manic surge of charismatic lightning towards the winding plethora of Olympian streets in them curvaceous lanes of variegated possibilities and unknowable ambiguities. But I still got enough plain and understandable lucidity within my consciously discerning clarity to ultimately transmigrate my speedily transient body and soul along them patiently drawn out distances of devastating disappointments and lingering frustrations, and to finally arrive to that delightfully harboring homestead of a uniquely rewarding recompense of affluent destination, where I will be rightfully gaining the victoriously prevailing valor of some image revitalizing recognition as a justifiably self-esteeming champion of destiny attaining positivity, with absolutely nothing better to do with myself but to overcome. Thank you so much for listening to these pieces. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share these videos. I'll be coming back at you with some more Tribal Judah poetry. In the meantime, I bid you shalom.